It's your girl, Horror Queen Cosplay, and I had an absolute blast at Tekko. Tekko is an anime convention located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and is one of the largest, if not the largest, actually, in Pennsylvania. This was my first ever time attending this convention. I had always wanted to go to it, but didn't really ever have the opportunity due to cost in conjunction with other expenses that I usually have around this time period, or other conventions, and just general how far it is for me. While a 6-hour drive is manageable, it's not something that I do particularly often. This year I was very fortunate and very honored to be invited to be a cosplay guest for this convention. Being a cosplay guest is something that is different for every single convention. For Tekko, I hosted 2 panels, had a booth where I sold prints, and showed off a few of my costume pieces, as well as helped judge the performance aspect of the cosplay masquerade competition. So I wanted to just make a fun video talking about my experience, how everything went, what I did, all of that fun stuff. I really want to make it a goal and a habit to make little videos talking about my experiences at conventions every single year, and other little stuff I have to say in conjunction with that. So let's go! So first off, apologies for not having a lot of footage. I am just notoriously bad at taking videos and pictures at conventions. I am aggressive at complimenting other cosplayers, but very terrible about taking pictures. I'm just always so swept up in the moment, or have other things going on, or more often than not have a costume on where I can't carry my phone, which is a struggle for sure. But nevertheless, I started my day on Thursday. I drove up and through the 6 hours and managed to get there in the afternoon after checking into the hotel and getting changed into my first of many costumes, which was Rose from Alan Wake 2. Technically, the convention doesn't really open up that day. While they did have some panels running and opened up pre-registration for badges, I still wanted to dress up, even though the main dealer's hall and artist alley was not open yet. Rose is one of my favorite characters from the Alan Wake / Remedyverse video game series, and I love the new version that they did for Alan Wake 2. It was a very fun little week-long project for me out of some cotton fabric and playing around with a waitress sewing pattern that I had bought a long time ago. Super duper comfy, just what I needed. And there were even a few people that recognized my character in line, which always makes me happy when I passed by the pre-registration line. It was a packed pre-registration line, which just only got me more excited for the weekend. After I got set up and met up with my friends, we did a quick dinner, which it was Picklesburg. A pickle-themed event in Pittsburgh was going on that weekend, and we accidentally walked into a restaurant that was having some event promotion alongside it. I am not a pickle person, but everybody who attended Picklesburg seemed to be having a really good time, so good on y'all. I'm a very organized person, so it made me feel a lot better to get my booth set up. While not every cosplayer who has a booth at a con offers the same thing, I think it's really nice that they gave cosplayer guests a booth, or at least an option to grab a booth. And you don't have to sell things. If you do ever become a cosplay guest and you are offered a booth, you can always bring pieces of your costumes or portfolios to show off to other people. Use it as a hub to promo yourself or talk to other cosplayers. I just happen to have a few prints available for sale. The next day on Friday, we got up bright and early, only for me to realize I had forgotten a key piece of one of the costumes I brought. So I had to shift around my cosplay plans a little bit the morning of, but that's okay. We persevere, we prevail, and we always bring a backup costume in our suitcase. So for Friday the convention, I dressed as Yuna, specifically her gunner design from Final Fantasy X-2. The Final Fantasy X and X-2 duo series is my favorite out of the Final Fantasy franchise. While I haven't totally dipped my toes in or really gone down the deep end like so many other people, are with those games, I still have a deep appreciation for them, and especially the characters of 10 and 10-2. My entire unit costume was put together using scrap fabric from other costumes, so the only thing I really bought was the wig and the accessories, since at the time I just didn't really want to make it. So I spent less than $50 on this costume. If you're someone like me who tends to hoard fabric and makes a lot of their costumes, I highly recommend challenging yourself to make costumes entirely out of scrap fabric if you have enough left over. It's a really, really fun way to challenge yourself, save some money, make something that maybe you wouldn't have made normally or you have thought of on a whim. Good way to practice some skills without really spending a lot of money, and it's just overall fun. It's something I started doing more and more often since the pandemic, when I was trapped inside and I just had fabric sitting around. So I got to spend a little bit of time at my booth aggressively yelling out compliments at other cosplayers, selling a few prints, talking about cosplay with people. I also hosted the research and referencing cosplay panel. It was a panel about how to find reference images for cosplay, how to research for your cosplay, how to find those really, really hard to find reference images, how to deal with costumes that maybe only you see this much of a character or you never see the back of, or it has complicated or contradicting references. And it's something that I'm very, very passionate about and have to exercise often, since I have cosplayed a lot from Monster High and Ever After High, which are doll lines with often conflicting reference art, or from video games that, yeah, you might really only see just the face of the character and that's it. And if you guys ever want me to do a YouTube video pretty much going through that panel again and expanding more on that sort of stuff, please do let me know. I had a lovely turnout and it was a lot of fun. I really, really miss doing panels. I used to do them a lot, and now I really primarily only do them if I cosplay guest, and I definitely want to start submitting and doing more panels again, whether I'm a guest or not at conventions, because I just love talking about cosplay. It overall was a very, very nice, chill day. I really, really got a sense for the vibe of the convention. It oftentimes, while walking through the venue, which was a gorgeous venue, it felt like Otakon before it moved to DC back when it was in Baltimore. Otakon is another very, very large anime convention on the East Coast. I only went one time back in 2012, and I would love to go again. It is definitely my goal to make it back there in 2025. Something that's really, really special about Tekko is something that they do called the ribbon game. Oftentimes people will give out little badge ribbons that you can stick onto your badge, and for Tekko they make a game out of it, a challenge if you will. So for the first time I started handing out free badge ribbons, and there were people by the end of the weekend that had scarves or just blanket-sized badge ribbons. There was one person I ran into whose goal was to make it to 400 badge ribbons. It is insane, and I love it so much. I racked up a decent amount of badge ribbons. This is the most I've ever racked up on any badge for me. You can see I have my little guest badge. Artist, so I could get into the artist alley since I was placed in the artist alley. And these are all the badge ribbons that I have. A pretty decent amount, I would say. So this was my little dun 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 dun, because I'm a huge Shark and Jaws lover. I gave them out, and I still have a few extra, and it was so much fun giving them out to people. I really, really love that Tekko has made a game out of this, and how big the culture is, and how there are clearly some people that go to this convention just for this ribbon game, and I freaking love it! Now moving on to Saturday of the convention, this was the big day. I dressed as Alice from Alice Madness Returns. This is an award-winning costume of mine, and I felt like it was important to wear something that I have won a masquerade award for since I was judging the masquerade. I have a whole video talking about how I made that costume, along with the performance that I won the award for with it, and multiple tearaway costume pieces. I will be adding the link to that video below if you so wish to watch it. The main thing I had that day was just judging the masquerade. I didn't have any other panels or any other plans. I didn't schedule any photo shoots or plan to attend any of the meetups for that con, since I knew most of the time I would be spending was at the booth or doing, you know, my guesting obligations such as the judging and panels. While it is so much fun to be a cosplay guest, it is still a job, and I wanted to be professional and make sure I was on time and not super overwhelmed. So I just kind of sort of went with the flow for this convention, very different than if I were a regular attendee. Another thing I really love about Tekko is that their masquerade ends when most other conventions' masquerades start, like, you know, close to 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m. I am a 29-year-old lady, and it was nice to be able to eat dinner at a normal time. I will not lie. For Tekko's masquerade, you are only judged on your performance if you enter a skit. They do have a separate craftsmanship only competition, and if you do a skit, you can also enter the craftsmanship only competition. This is a lot like Colossal Con East, for example. Not all anime masquerade / cosplay skit competitions are that way. Some will require you to have craftsmanship also judged alongside your performance. Some will let you to opt out of the craftsmanship judging, but you will be marked down a little bit more and less likely to win larger awards if you do not. It all depends upon the competition. This one was tough to judge. I know it's very easy to say as a masquerade judge that it was hard to pick a winner, but it's true. Everybody was incredibly talented. I know easy to say, but it is fact. It was not immediate right off the bat who was going to win. There were so many unique skits, a higher volume of singing competition skits, a lot of really cool talents on display such as baton twirling, belly dancing, and color guard. It was amazing and a total delight to the eye. I did get some recordings of a few of the walk-ons, but they're at a really, really bad angle because I was holding my phone very low instead of like this so you could see, because I didn't want to be disruptive and I just wanted to like get a few couple quick clips, so I apologize for that. They even had like a little cool runway that shot out forward that some people utilized very nicely for their skits. I definitely recommend checking around on YouTube for recordings of people's skits from the masquerade / skit competition, because there were some real wonderful gems in there. There was an Astarian that sang Poison from Hazbin Hotel, a Marcel from Delicious in Dungeon who sang her own original song, a Hi-Fi Rush skit who sang their own original song. There were so many incredible skits that I was blown away, and if I ever get the chance to compete at Tekko, I know that I will have my money's worth for it. It will be for all the marbles. It will be tough because everybody really brought their A game with this competition. The Best in Show went to a Pearl from Steven Universe using one of the songs from the Barbie movie. Not a single dry eye amongst the judges. She was absolutely incredible. And my Judges Award went to a Lisa Frankenstein skit. I will be posting their Instagram handles right in the corners there. Lisa Frankenstein is a fresh horror movie by the creators of Jennifer's Body, which is a movie I've cosplayed from and really love. Lisa Frankenstein is an absolute delight and mixture of comedy and horror. I highly recommend you check it out. It is so good. And if you've never really done a masquerade or attended a masquerade / skit competition, Judges Awards are essentially honorable mentions. Each judge gets to give one out for any reason that they pick. This is the most self-indulgent of the awards, and I love it. Picking Judges Awards is actually my favorite part about being any cosplay judge because it's so personal. I've picked out many Judges Awards and judged other competitions in the past. I've picked out Judges Awards for simply personal reasons. I picked them out because I really wanted to show off and highlight something special that somebody did on their costume, be it historical accuracy or some sort of difficulty that they had in their performance, and just showcase somebody who, while they didn't win a major award, I still felt was special. So I didn't just pick Lisa Frankenstein because I love the movie and because I'm Horror Queen cosplay. I picked it also because the performance was essentially a summary of the hour-and-a-half plus long movie, which is something that's very difficult to do. Something that's important for me with masquerade performances is that you should be telling a story, and not only that, you should be making it easy for everybody in the audience to understand, whether they know that series or not, whether it's a super popular series or it's really, really niche. You gotta keep it simple and let everybody in on the magic. Maybe they might watch that skit and go, oh my god, I want to go check out that movie. I love it when skits can do that well, and they did it fantastically. It was clear that the performers knew and loved that film. The acting was on par. It's hard to act when you don't have any spoken lines and you're relying just on your face and your movements. They danced in a way that was very clearly straight out of the film. I just loved it, and I couldn't not give them a Judges Award. But don't get me wrong, again, everybody was so talented. There was a beautiful monologue from a series that's based around a podcast. There was a gorgeous tearaway idol skit, and I love me a good tearaway costume. I wish I had more Judges Awards and honorable mentions to give out, trust me. It was very difficult to judge, but it was so much fun at the same time. Shout out to my fellow judges, Novice Cosplay and Midnight Persona, as well as to all of the staff members. Thank you again so much for having me. It was delightful. The staff members worked so hard and were so courteous and so helpful the entire time. Seriously, Tekko staff members, you guys rock. Y'all were awesome. And yeah, truly, the staff members are the backbone of a convention, literally, and special thank you to the Artist Alley staff members who were so attentive to us, as well as especially the cosplay staff for putting on and coordinating a fantastic show and for inviting me. Finally, there was Sunday of the convention. Since I couldn't wear one of the costumes I initially intended to wear, I wore my backup costume, which is a bot costume of Sumigi from Danganronpa 3. I've recently been replaying this game again, and no spoilers, I'm so glad to finally be cosplaying Sumigi. Plus I get to wear my glasses as her, which was fantastic. It was just the right amount of comfortable and perfect for the last day of the convention. I hosted one of my favorite panels to do, which is titled The Art of the Ball Gown. It's a panel about how to make a ball gown for cosplay. I've been doing this panel for several years and it has evolved over that time. If you want me to do a YouTube video talking about ball gowns and cosplay, please do let me know because I am more than happy to do so. After that, we weren't able to stay long since I had to get on the road. It was a very, very long drive back, so as much as I wish I could have stayed longer, it was still such an incredible and wonderful convention. If you are ever able to make it out to Tekko, please do, whether it's for something cool like the ribbon badge game, or to compete or check out some of the other amazing cosplayers, or maybe check out some cool stuff like the Artist Alley. I spent so much money in the Artist Alley. I have so many pins and charms. I bought a new mug, so many stickers. Of course, one of the many things I had to get was this really cute charm of the Sakura head monster from the new Silent Hill short message demo. I want to make this costume. I have all the pieces and I've started to work on her, so this just another reminder that I really need to get working on this costume, and fingers crossed I can get her done in time for like a November event, or maybe for MagFest in January of next year, and fingers crossed I will hopefully make a video talking about how I make the costume. Either way, it was a fantastic convention, well worth the drive, and once again, thank you to everybody who came and said hi to me at my booth, or checked out my panels. All you cosplayers, you were just amazing. I hope to make more videos talking about my convention experiences, whether I have a lot of footage or not. And I love cosplay guesting because you get to spread some of your knowledge and love to other cosplayers. You get to check out other environments, or, just convention atmospheres, and really be part of it. Be part of something special for that weekend. I love uplifting other cosplayers. It's one of my many reasons why I love judging for competitions. As much as I love performing and competing, I keep saying love, but I can't help but love to see that look of joy on someone's face as you hand them an award that you judged them on. It is so satisfying and so wonderful. Cosplay competitions are some of the most positive experiences I've ever had within the community. They keep me on my toes and keep me pushing myself, and I am so inspired from all of the performances I saw at Tekko over the weekend. I quite literally on the drive home was thinking a lot about, oh, I want to do this or that for my next competition piece. Y'all got me inspired, and thank you again, Tekko, for having me. If you like my content, please do subscribe below. It would be really great. I also stream on Twitch if you want to hear me ramble about video games and cosplay. Hopefully I shall see y'all soon. Bye, cuties!